I'm going to give it just a second, make sure everyone's ready. Ready?
What?
Just make sure you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, got the rain off your glasses?
No, yeah.
All right. The time is 6:32, and with us this evening is City Attorney Gavin Keough. We have Craig Schulte, Bill Lovis, myself, Mike Roth, and Kim Van Beck, along with a packed room, which is wonderful. So we will move on with that to open forum. For anyone who is here this evening for open forum, how it rolls is that the lovely table right in front here is just special for you with your mic. And we ask that your time is limited, and if you can see, if you have a handout, it's no more than 5 minutes, and if a subject has already been discussed, say something new about it, please. But most importantly, please introduce yourself for the record. That's really it. Do that. So, if anyone would like to speak for open forum, go ahead. An open forum is an opportunity for you to present, but it's not a time in which we engage back and forth. We listen.
Hello, Joel St. John, the Mayhew Inn. I'm here with my wife, Amy,
I'm Amy St. John.
and got a couple of others with us, Mike Roth from LHB, and our project manager, Aaron Lindberg. We wanted to just update everybody on the status of our project, our new development project downtown, and we have some renderings that we're here to share, and just provide some general updates of where we're at in our project. We're in our final stages of funding, and we're driving hard to break ground this spring. We're shooting for June 1. On this first rendering that Mike Roth has up on the screen, you'll see our exterior elevation. So this will be on the gravel lots, the current Joins parking lot, and the 3 burned lots, of course, working our way down the block. And the corner, you'll see where our restaurant's gonna be. And we'll have lodging units and an event center on the 2nd floor, and 3 new retail shops that we, of course, lost in the fire. And then you'll see the main entrance sort of in the center of the building, and that's about where that kind of the pergola comes out towards the center of the building. That's about where the Crooked Spoon used to be located. And that'll be the main entrance for the restaurant and our cocktail lounge. So if you want to go to the next slide, Mike.
I do.
The challenge. We had technology
Right
challenges
screen.
earlier today too. There we go. This will be generally the view when you come in that main entrance. You'll come into sort of an open concept lounge. And to the left of this, we don't have it in these renderings. There'll be a restaurant, which hopefully in our beautiful warm months up here, we'll have some outdoor seating, which would be fantastic. And then you'll see to the right, we've got a nice fireplace area, and the retail shops will be to the right, screen right of where you're looking, over towards kind of the Sven and Ole's side. And this will just be an open lounge type of setting, cocktail lounge, open to all and for guests as well. And then the next slide will be our event center on the 2nd level, which is actually 2 parts. It's 2 spaces that can be joined into 1 large event center or sectioned off into 2 small ones. And they open up onto a rooftop deck, which is the final slide, Mike. And you'll see we've got sort of some of the Compton. You'll see the Blue Water there and the Ben Franklin to the right to kind of give you an idea of the proximity and kind of the location. And that's just kind of the top level view. We're excited to dig in and keep sharing updates with you guys as we go. But like I said, we're working on permits and our logistics plan to share with Mike and the team. And we're kind of full steam ahead on those pieces, so the updates will keep coming.
All right, very good. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything, yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Rock and roll.
Mhm.
Thanks for the time, guys.
Yep, we appreciate you coming in and
Absolutely.
lots of interest within the community, so thank you.
Excellent.
All right, is anyone else here for open forum this evening?
Hello, Kelly Swearingen. I'm glad Kim knows how to spell my last name. Joel and Amy, it's a beautiful building.
Thank you so much.
As somebody who is, I'll say, a true local, I think it will add to the aesthetics of Grand Marais.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to having it there. Counselors, I am here tonight not because I know Michelle, but because I do want to fully support her application for the conditional use permit and to challenge you to remove the stipulations which came through the Planning Commission. I certainly understand what the zoning states, and by nature, I am a rule follower and support rules. But rules need to make sense. The current residential area of Grand Marais is not what it used to be. In the city limits, which operates businesses along with having homes for our citizens, is a mismatch throughout. Our neighborhoods are comprised of many things. Examples: we have 2 welding operation businesses in town, churches, school, laundromat, elderly apartments, hair salons, restaurants, cabin rentals, massage therapists, and likely some I'm not naming. I don't call any of them out to shame them, only to say that we are intertwined. None of these have limits set forth that they provide off-street parking or limit their customers to a 3 p.m. stop time. The average working person would not be able to support Michelle or her business if we are unable to use her services after work. I think consideration should be given when an applicant applies as to how we handle them. Do those who tutor students or give piano lessons in homes for money then need to apply for the same conditional use permit? It really isn't very different. How does a plan come together that seems fair and equitable to all? This then brings me to another point, which is far more complicated and having a greater impact on our community: the VRBO. Do you currently limit the number of cars that park at one? Some do not provide off-street parking, but continue to operate. If we want to stay within a residential theme, what about doing away with the VRBOs altogether within the city limits? Does this anger some or cause hackles to go up? I am sure. I don't want to tell people how or who to sell their homes to. That is not what I'm here to do. I also would like to sell mine in the next 3 to 5 years and partially fund my retirement. But I also want a family in my home that will love it the way that I do. I do want to plant a seed for our counselors to be bold and challenging in trying to help solve the issues of workforce shortage in our community. 2 apartment buildings have now been opened in the last 11 months, but neither is full currently. Homes are needed, homes are wanted. There was something in the Northern Wilds magazine about a month ago that stated the average home sale for Cook County in 2025 was $249,500. A quick calculation showed that a 30-year mortgage with a generous 6% interest would equal a payment of $2,575 a month. That does not escrow in the insurance or the taxes. A Google search said the standard recommendation for housing costs in one's budget should be 28 to 35% of your gross income. If I round a $3,000 a month payment equaling $36,000 a year, a single person would have to earn $125,000 a year, or roughly $60 per hour. That's at $20.80 for the year. Cook County does not support many jobs in that bracket for one person, and oftentimes not even a 2-person home. If the city were to eventually phase the RBOs out within the city limits, I believe this would likely drive down some of the housing prices, therefore opening up homes to younger people who currently live here or want to move here. Many have heard me say my greatest accomplishment in life so far was the day I purchased my home as a single mother, giving my son not a place, but a home to grow up in, just the way that I did. Yes, driving home prices down comes with repercussions, and I do not state it lightly. There are people and taxes which would be negatively impacted, but the stark realization that if we cannot find young people or young families to live here, work here, and support this community, Grand Marais will eventually go away. I work in a place where we greatly see and feel the impact of the workforce shortage. Who will take care of our seniors when they need a place to go? Or if we cannot staff a healthcare facility or a school with quality teachers and coaches, where will others move in order to find these services? I realize much honest discussion, soul searching, hard choices, and community connection needs to go into a process. But I challenge you tonight to make a small, insignificant step in allowing Michelle the conditional use permit, not because I and others come in support, but because the truth is we need people like her and her young family here. We need to be attracting and working with the 25 to 55-year-old age group, and we need them to be here. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Are there other people here for open forum this evening?
Hi, I'm Tom Supernaut. I live directly across the street from Michelle and Carrie Andy. And prior to this meeting at the zoning commission, I opposed this variance. But we being Carrie Andy, I, and Michelle, had a long, productive conversation. And in that conversation, they answered our questions and concerns about this variance. And I believe that and the result of that is that I fully support this variance for the nail salon. Michelle and Carrie Andy are hardworking citizens of this community. And to try to add on to the previous presenter is, this is the type of people we need in this community. We all know it's very hard in this county community to make a living, usually 2 or 3 jobs to do it. I fully support Michelle and Carrie Andy and their 2 children to be able to enjoy Cook County like the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you. I saw someone else pop up. Don't want to call you on the spot, but I thought there was a rush to the mic, so.
Well, after all of this, I don't know if I really need to say anything more. That was very kind to say, and you covered everything. So I just came up to say, as a business owner in Grand Marais, like, this is.
If you could introduce yourself
I'm
first.
Jordan Plummer.
you.
Do you need anything else? Is it just my name?
Yep, that's
Okay.
all I need to know for the record, thank you.
Yeah, as a local business owner and community member in support of Michelle and her decision to run her business from her home, I'm here to show that support. Yeah, I was surprised to hear that there was a complaint both from a business community standpoint, and I see what she's doing as a positive. The community was so important with me and my business opening, and I know that she's felt that support too, and just being here, I feel it, and it just makes me really proud of Grand Marais and to be a part of this. But yeah, Grand Marais runs on people showing up for each other. Small businesses are a part of that. When we support each other, we keep this place strong, connected, and a little more resilient. I think it's great. So I'm here to support, and I'm so happy that so many people went in front of me and said all the great things. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for open forum?
My name is Laura Moose, and I am here to support Michelle as a friend and as a client. I would also like to read an email from my friend and business partner, Gina Joyce.
Oh, thank you, because that's on the request for us to do, so.
Oh,
If you're
can I
going to
do
do
it?
that, that's fine. and we will not.
Wonderful. Dear members of City Council and staff, I am writing to express my support for Michelle's Nail Salon and urge to Council to consider approving her application. Home-based beauty businesses like Michelle's are a genuine asset to our community. We already welcome hair salons operating out of private residences, and a nail salon should be no different. It creates meaningful employment for the owner while providing a convenient personal service to local residents. What makes this business model particularly well-suited to a residential setting is that nail salons typically operate on an appointment basis. This means there should be little to no foot traffic beyond scheduled clients, nor congestion or surrounding streets, nor disruption to neighbors' daily lives. Supporting Michelle is supporting exactly the kind of a small community-rooted entrepreneurship our neighborhood thrives on. I respectfully ask the council to consider voting in favor of her approving application. Thank you for your time, consideration, and service. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening?
Hi there. My name is Jessica Bremen, and I've been a community member for 8 years in Grand Marais. And I've been following Michelle on social media for a couple of years, and very much have been looking forward to nail technician services in Grand Marais. Many of us travel quite far, so I can assure you there's definitely need in this community for her services and for a home-based salon. So just implore you to approve her application.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening?
I just want to share this also with you guys. I don't know which one should I put.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Pass it around.
Yeah. My name is Michelle Maldonado. First of all, I'm so sorry if I say something wrong, but English is not my first language.
It's just fine.
I am a licensed nail technician and a small business owner here in Grand Marais. Thank you for your time, your service, and the opportunity that you're giving me to speak. I am here today to respectfully request approval of my home-based nail studio and to provide clarity on its true nature, impact, and value to this community. First, I want to be very clear about what this business is and what it is not. This is a low-impact appointment-only studio. I serve one client at a time. I have no employees. There's no walk-ins. There is no increase in traffic beyond a typical residential visitor. There is not unusual noise, no disruptive activity, and no external impact to the neighborhood. In fact, the nature of my work is quiet, is controlled, and detail focused. Make it less disruptive than many everyday residential activities. Through this process, an important point has come forward. There are other individuals within city limits operating home-based businesses, including similar services such as hairdressers. Some have been stated they have been operating for many years under similar conditions. So naturally, the question becomes, what makes my business different? Because fairness and consistency in application matter. In addition, I want to highlight something that cannot be overlooked. I've received an overwhelming public support, not just from clients, but from neighbors, local residents, and members of this community. People have taken the time to write, comment, and speak up because they recognize that small home-based businesses help keep Grand Marais economically alive. My service provides something that is currently limited or unavailable locally. Supporting local entrepreneurs means keeping money within the community. As one community member stated, every dollar spent here supports our neighbors. There is also a very important practical point that has been raised. A single client visit to my home is not different than a homeowner having a guest. We do not regulate when residents may receive visitors. So placing strict limitations on my business hours when the impact is identical raises a question of proportionality. I also want to emphasize my full commitment to compliance and safety. My studio will meet all Minnesota State Board of Cosmetology requirements, including sanitation and disinfection protocols, professional licensing, inspections, and liability insurance. This is not an informal or unregulated activity. It is a oh my gosh, my English, licensed, accountable, and professional service. Now, I would like to address the topic of business hours, which I understand is a central concern. I fully respect the need to preserve the peace and character of residential neighborhoods. At the same time, limiting my hours too narrowly will directly impact my ability to operate sustainably, especially for working clients who rely on evening availability. However, I am not here to be unreasonable. I am here to collaborate. I'm requesting flexibility in scheduling while remaining respectful of the community. A reasonable and balanced approach, even suggested by community members, will be to avoid late night hours, such a no operation between 10 to 6 a.m., 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. This provides a clear boundary while still allowing me to serve clients responsibly. At its core, this is about balance and fairness. Balancing, number one, the rights of a resident to responsibly operate a small business, and number two, with the goal of maintaining neighborhood integrity and ensuring that decisions are applied consistently and proportionally. I am not asking for special treatment. I am asking for a fair opportunity, the same opportunity that has been extended to others to operate a low-impact, responsible business from my home. Grand Marais is known for supporting small businesses, families, and individuals working to build something meaningful. I am one of those individuals. I am building something not just for myself, but for my family and for this community. I respectfully ask for your approval with reasonable, balanced conditions so I can contribute, grow, and be part of what makes this community strong. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and commitment for this community.
Thank you. Here, I'm gonna let you have that back. And thanks for providing that as well. All right. Anyone else here for open forum? Okay. And I will say, because this is your project, when we talk about it, there's there's opportunity for you to participate, right? Just so you know that if there's something when we get to that part. Yep. All right. And with that, then I will we will close open forum and move on to the consent agenda. And with that, because we have some other information today, I would also like to just, it's been, Mike suggested that we plug in under old business the 3rd Street information that you all had. So if that's, we'll make an amendment for that, and then we would go on to the ordinance that's on there, so do that first. That's okay. And we went through Joel. And I would also like to make sure that everyone has a chance under that consent agenda, if you wanted any conversation about that grant for the GIS mapping or any questions, to do that before, otherwise it's just sitting under that. So if anyone would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended, well, our agenda as amended and the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
All right, a second for that?
I'll second it.
A lot of options tonight. All right, any further questions or comments about any of mostly at this point about that resilience grant that we've been awarded? That helps with the GIS mapping and some also work around wastewater, right?
I'm happy to talk more about it during my report. If you'd prefer to wait until then to approve it, you can pull it off the consent agenda.
Or are you
Or if you
okay
just
with
want to
it
approve
as
it and then
is?
hear about it later, it's a good thing.
We've talked about it a couple times that we were granted this, but I just wanted to make sure everyone was good, or?
Okay.
All right, and with that, looking for approval for our amended agenda and consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Well,
I think I already did.
yeah, we
Already
got
did
that.
Now it's just voting.
I approve it. We're,
Okay,
vote. Aye.
aye. Aye. All right, we're good to go on that, and then we can spend some time with that a little bit later if we need to. All right, very good. And with that, we'll move on to new business, which is Planning Commission Report, Resolution 2026-02 Mendez Home Occupation CUP, that's page 32. We don't have Michael Gary this evening to take care of that.
I'm happy to report on the meeting.
I was gonna say, would you like to
I surely
go over
would.
that?
The Planning Commission held a public hearing last Wednesday to consider this application. We did receive some public comment at that meeting. I think you heard from one of the two people that was at the meeting again tonight. The other person that was at the meeting last week was in favor of the request. You can see the issues that were discussed. These are, I would say, pretty typical things that come up during conditional use permits for home-based businesses. We do them every once in a while. And it's pretty common that we hear about parking and hours of operation and other things like that. I don't think I need to go into any details about the request itself unless you'd like me to. Okay? I just do want to comment on the conditions quickly, since those are going to be at question.
Can I ask, I do have one quick question.
Okay,
In the first summary, so I guess that's the second paragraph, the public hearing thing. I just caught this, I hadn't missed it, the last sentence. I'll let you get there first.
the condition of the property or the location of the property?
No, under public hearing, the very last sentence.
Okay, yes, that was part of the conversation. So this was information
okay.
that was provided at the hearing by the applicant, that they only have capacity for one client at a time, and their estimate was that they're gonna have about 3 per day.
So that's an estimate. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. All right, thank you.
There was some conversation at the meeting by the board about how to handle this, particularly because there was mixed feedback, both for and against. The commission did, in the end, recommend approval for this, so you're seeing a recommend to approve with the following findings, which I won't read, but if anybody wants to look at them, they're in the packet or available to review. It was a 2-to-1 vote to recommend approval, and the 3 conditions that were included as a part of that were 1 off-street parking space dedicated to clients, hours of operation 9 to 3, and only 1 client is permitted at a time. I think that the parking was thoroughly discussed at the meeting, and it was for sure something that's come up at other conditional use permits, that we require off-street parking for a home-based business and for other types of businesses. The hours of operation, though, my recollection is that 3 p.m. time was something that the applicant made a comment about during the hearing. So I don't know if that was something that you meant to suggest or not, but that's my understanding where the source of that number came from. It wasn't something that the commission invented on their own. And then 1 client at a time is something that the applicant suggested was their intention anyway, and so it made sense to include that.
Did any of you have questions, either of you, or comments yet?
So parking, there is off-street parking available, plus
Yeah.
they added one off-street. No, they didn't add any on-street parking.
The parking on the street is public right now.
Yes.
It's allowed on both sides of the street. in
They have-
addition, on their property, they have ample space for
Yeah,
off-street
that's what I
parking.
read here.
And they'll be dedicating one of those spaces to clients.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Bill? No, all right.
So the resolution says 3 PM as closing time.
Was that something that the owner suggested, or is this something that the planning commission suggested, this 9 to 3?
The 3 PM for sure was included by the planning commission as a condition, but to my recollection, it was originally mentioned by the applicant. And I
Okay.
don't think there was any other reason for including it other than that.
I have a couple questions if you wouldn't mind. Ironically, the first thing I was a little out of town, so I caught up this week, and the first thing that caught my eye was exactly that if I looked and if I was a person that wanted your services, I'd probably be working all day.
Yeah.
So I wondered if that was really very realistic. And then my second wonder, which I don't know if I saw this outlined, is that's time of day, but is there anything about days of the week in this? I'm not seeing that.
There's not.
Anything in there?
Okay. On that. And this is really beside the point, and you don't really have to answer this. But, you know, when you're starting a business, you need a lot of help and coaching and thinking things through. And I just wondered, do you have some of our business resources helping you work through on some of this? And it's, you don't have to answer that.
No.
Because that would have been one of the first things I would have said is, you know, going to 3 o'clock
Yeah,
probably.
it's not. I just said that because if I put to account like 3 clients, each of them will take me 3 hours. And for example, I started 8 a.m., I'll probably be done by 5. If I do 3 right away, you know, like one and then the other go and leaves and then I get the other one. Honestly, it is really hard, especially having twins, and my wife works a lot, so I have to rely also on her days off for me to be able to schedule people, because I'm not gonna leave my child alone, and daycare is really expensive. So I would love to have a way that I'm more available for, you know, the people that wants to book for me. It doesn't mean that if I have longer operating hours, I will be there working all day. I just want to be available for them if they cannot do it at 8 a.m. They cannot do it at noon. They cannot at 3. But maybe they can at 6 after work or at 5. You know, I want to be able to say like, yes, I can make an appointment for you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
There's, sorry to
Nope, that's
interrupt,
okay.
but also the same day of the hearing, I wanted to hear the real, you know, what people think about this, especially on the 2nd Avenue West. And I took the work with my wife, Carrie Andy, to walk, starting from the public library. We walk literally home by home, knocking doors and asking them and showing them with a flyer what is our business about. I forgot to bring that, but I collected multiple signatures that they do agree, they do want this here, and they need it.
All right.
Yeah, I will say 80% of the people were agreeing, and the other one, they were sleeping at the moment, so, or not at home, so.
All right, thank you. Yep.
Have you thought about signage and what we'd have to, you know, what's applicable in a residential area to advertise a business? That may be an issue or may not be an issue for you. I don't know.
In my case, I mean, if I have the option to not put anything that will make people know that I have that business there because I wanted to keep it as private as possible. And I don't want people knocking on my door, you know. 'cause I
So
have
all
kids.
your,
If it's possible to not do anything, I will not do it. If it's required, I will do something I don't know how to say that word, discreet?
It's okay, I get it. You were clear.
so a lot of your clients will be booked through internet or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Give them the address, they
Yeah.
can find it.
Yeah, that's
So
the,
we
that's
we
the plan.
probably have ordinances against signage.
The signage that's allowed in the residential zone is pretty limited,
Yeah, it's,
but there's no requirement for you to have a sign if you don't.
Good, because.
no, I'm not saying it's a requirement, I'm just saying,
Just in
someday you
case.
might wanna put a sign out there
Yeah,
only to
no.
find out that it might be a little hard to
Yeah.
do, yeah, okay,
I want to keep private,
not
like
here.
as private as possible.
okay.
Any comments or?
The only question I have is hours of operation, you know, obviously you wanna change that,
Yeah,
okay? So then we'd have to consider what, you know,
I will be first to say that, yeah, like I said, I looked at that and went, oh, that's not gonna work.
yeah, it's not,
It's not practical.
Yeah.
At least that was my viewpoint.
yeah,
And if no one's told you, you have had neighbors doing tax prep, selling insurance, all sorts of things in your neighborhood. Home-based businesses are not unusual here, especially ones that don't require, you know, a whole we do not care to have in residential areas a large group of people coming for a business all at one time.
yeah,
But there's lots of small, quiet businesses going on
yeah,
as well. So if this were to go, I would suggest that a different time piece. Now, I don't know if there's any concern about 7 days a week or whatever that way, because it didn't apparently come into conversation. And I don't know if any of you have any thoughts about that, but those would be the only two things I'd want to make sure, for me personally, that we were clear about.
there's no mention of that, so
I can add that.
are
I mean,
are you a 7-day week business?
as, you know, I want to be available, you know, as summer, winter here is kind of like, sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's, you know, it always change.
Yep.
Not everyone, I mean, let's say for summer is really busy, there's people that probably is gonna have 1 day a week that who knows what day is gonna be. And then winter, again, it's different. It gets slower, people have more time to spend doing their thing, so it's, I just try, right now, 7 days, but it doesn't mean that I will work the 7 days.
The flexibility.
Yeah, I
too.
just want to be flexible for them.
All right. Well, that's 2 items, so, does 7 days a week seem okay? I mean, is there any reason to not make it that? All right,
fine.
and then hours of operation, I did hear a suggestion of rather than when, as when not. So you know, there's a certain stop point and there's a certain start point. My first suggestion to that would be 9 PM to 7 AM, but I don't know. We have a lively crowd here.
You're talking, which is 7 AM to 9 PM?
Flip that, like a not operational from 9 PM
not
to
operational.
yeah.
Okay,
Which I did hear that in conversation earlier,
good.
but it was different,
7
you gave
a.m.
different times. So, that was just my thought. I don't know if it matters much, but anyways. Yeah, I'd say it backwards. But I would definitely wanna get these hours and days, you know, adjusted for this, to make it more reasonable. Anyways. something different?
I agree with the 7 a.m.
Mhm.
There's no way I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. But the 10 p.m. it doesn't mean that I'm gonna take a client at 10 p.m. You know,
That would mean you would have to be done by
I
10 a.m.
will have to
Yeah.
be done by then. So can I suggest 7 to 10, just in case? Just because I heard people requesting that. Just in case. It's I mean, my job is quiet, literally.
So you mean 10 p.m. till 7 a.m.?
To 7 a.m. No.
7 a.m. to 10 p.m. is.
Everybody else
hours.
wants to talk about it the other way, Tracy.
Yeah, I know.
Hours.
Well, they
That's
said
her
it that
hours.
way, so I thought I'd
That's
flip
her
Yeah,
it
like-
hours
once.
of
like-
operation is 7 a.m.
A.m.
to
So-
10
So
p.m.
you don't want to do 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
7 to
7
10.
a.m. instead of 9 a.m. Okay.
oops, well, whatever. We were close enough. We were sort of confused, but I think we're okay.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. will be.
Right. All right. Would anyone like to make a motion for this with those changes?
That's the only change we're making is the time thing.
As far as I know,
Everything else
yes,
stays the
unless
same.
you have something else.
The one client at a time.
Off-street parking remains.
is okay.
I already ordered a sign and everything, just in case. To put on my, let's say, like, designated parking for a client. That's gonna be for a client only on my driveway, so.
I would like to, because it was not mentioned, I though would like to add the fact that so that no one wonders later, that we specifically said 7 days a week. I'd just
Okay.
like to put that in there so there's no confusion
Sure.
at some point in the future on
Yeah,
that. So with that said, anyone like to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion that we add item 4, which would address the number of days per week as 7, and that we change the hours of operation to 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
Unless we have discussion about, if there's a discussion with the hours of operation, because I haven't heard from exactly what you guys are saying, but I think this is fine. If somebody wants to talk about if it 10's too late, you want to make it 9, I understand, you know.
I'm good.
So when you get a client, how long does it take?
Oh, like 3 hours.
How many fingers they have? If they have 10 fingers, it takes longer.
It take me 3 hours only for hands,
Okay,
only for the basic stuff.
okay, so
So it can go, one client, it can take me 6 hours easily.
if somebody comes
Depending
in
on
at
what they
7.
want. So that's why I say, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna have 3-4 clients a day. It just depends on what they want.
Yeah, and this isn't like a restaurant when you walk in at 9:55 and hope somebody still wants
Yeah.
to serve you a decent meal. So you will actually be done at 10, right? I mean, just make sure there's no confusion there.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Would anyone like to make a second on that?
You can make a second.
I'm gonna make a second on this.
Okay,
Because
and that motion is to approve this resolution with those changes you described.
Yes,
Yep,
with
those
the
two
changes
changes.
described.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all in support of Resolution 2026-02 as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you,
Oh my gosh.
and good luck.
Thank you.
Oh. I totally screwed that up, didn't I? Totally. Wait,
No, I thought you were very clear, just different than everybody else.
no, we were supposed to do Third Street first.
No, not before the crew.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking in the wrong line on my list. Never
Probably need
mind.
about a 30-second break now anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Good night now. Now we just have to get Rich busy and go help him up the street.
What's that?
We need to get Rich busy to come up and help him up the street, get that yard cleaned
I can't hear you.
up. I'll tell you later. Get Rich going,
Get Rich.
my neighbor.
Come join us, John.
Yes, sorry, John. For a second, I almost thought I screwed up and went out of order. You know, our new order, and then I realized, no, we're okay. You're gonna
that's fine.
stand? Do you
We can
want
stretch you out.
to stand though, so we get you on a mic here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can sit a little bit.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
get
it.
that. If you sit down, you might not get back up, right? All right, and you're gonna pull up the materials, Mike? Was that it? Like you did for, okay.
This is emailed out to everybody, so it'll be a lot easier for you to look at in your email if you want to get into the details of it. What we have is a section from the plans for the Third Street project that identifies spatially which improvements are being funded by the developer, which improvements are being funded by the city. Oh, look, he's got paper for you. That's perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Which I think is a really helpful way to understand what's going on. For those that are watching at home, they can see this on the screen. So to remind folks, this is the improvement of Third Street between Sixth Avenue West and Eighth Avenue West by the installation of water and sewer mains between Sixth and Seventh Avenue West and the widening, straightening, and adding curb to half of the road for the remainder of it. And although the maps are very informative, the more important thing to share is the results of the bid.
Now, you said that the curb cuts for the private land, other people's private land, can be adjusted as the project moves along.
Oh, yeah.
Because I haven't been able to contact.
I've been in touch with Dawkins with the plans.
How long ago did you talk to Steve?
Well, I heard from him today
Oh, you did, okay.
that's where that's at, is
Okay.
that
I was just double.
someone will need to be there to field verify.
Yeah.
I think we still owe him some scheduling details about when that's gonna have to happen.
Right.
But he's seen the plans, he suggested some changes to where the driveways should
Okay.
be, and those were made by the engineers before the bids were let, so.
Gotcha.
The results of the bids, KTM is the low bidder, we did receive 4. For a total cost of, is $231,947 their number, is that what I'm seeing on your spreadsheet?
Their total bid for the whole project was $428,900.
$428,900, yeah, I'm
That's
sorry,
the-
I'm looking at our price only.
That's, yeah.
So $428,900,
Total cost.
and $231,947 of that are costs that the city would be responsible for. That includes, I'll say approximately $25,000 for private utility connections to the south side of the street that we'll only do if that property owner wants us to. So now, they've seen the prices, they understand that they've got some time before they need to get back to us and say whether they're gonna do those improvements or not. And so that's where they're at. And if they decide not to, we won't make the improvements and we won't have to pay for them. So it's just over $200,000 in the rest of the improvements that the city's gonna make in terms of a little bit of additional utilities to take Petter's improvements and bring them all the way to Seventh Avenue, and then to do the road widening, straightening, adding curb on the south side.
I had to pull this up because I can't see that.
Let me see if I can zoom in a lot more. if
Well,
you
that's
wanna see
okay.
some
Is
more.
the yellow, what you were saying is the private
Yeah.
changes? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And those are, the easily identifiable parts for the private service lines. So we'll just take that top one, for instance, the 9,600 is approximately 115 linear feet of 1.25 inch low pressure sanitary service, $84.16 a foot. That's for the complete installation of that and the work that goes above it as well, but it doesn't pay for mobilization or removals or some of the other things that are aggregated at the top of the list rather than split out by each line item. And so we would take a small portion of those costs and add them to this. And so this is maybe closer to 22 when you add those numbers up, and I say about 25 is what the price would be then for the service lines.
To do the work on the south side.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we can take that out and know what our costs are. That's all. You'd mentioned that earlier, but I just wanted to
Yep.
make sure I was looking at the right thing. Thank you. And these came in potentially lower than somewhat? Or-
This is, yeah, even if we're at 210, and with some additional expenses that, I don't believe we're gonna run into, but you never know when you're doing a construction project, that we said 240 in the notice for improvements. So we've got a little bit of room here, inside of what we were planning on spending on the improvements, which is good news. And I believe that's true of the developer's costs as well. So we were excited to see 4 bidders and multiple competitive prices.
Yeah, that's important to have multiple. To feel good about it.
So we've got 30 days from last Friday to accept, award the bid or not award the bid. Since this came together so quickly, and if you'd prefer to spend a little more time with it before moving forward, we'll come back, put this on the agenda in 2 weeks, give you a chance to review the materials and come up with any questions you might have. If you don't have any and you're ready to move forward right now, you could certainly do that as well.
Thoughts? Would you like to take action this evening, or would you like to
Well, I
pause
just got a couple
this?
questions on your clear and grubbing within the construction.
You're looking at the plans?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking about the center of the project. Why does that dotted line all of a sudden rotate and go south, make a big loop and go back up? Is that taking care of that little hill that's in there? You know what I'm saying?
Which,
I think it'd be,
Clear and grub trees within construction limits. It seems to be a lot further away from the road than other,
It's probably because the
Is there some-
ground falls off more, so we gotta catch back up to the ground, so it means we gotta come out further.
you gotta
to
come
keep
out
us-
more.
Yeah, to catch.
Cause there's some drops in there and there's
yeah,
also
yeah.
a hill in there
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
And that one's, okay,
Yeah.
I was just concerned about that. I mean, Steve would probably be more concerned about that, cause it's his,
oh, you're talking about right below where it says Third Street,
yeah,
that's, the service.
utility
The
service.
utility service goes through there. If you go to the next page, you'll see,
oh, I see it.
so both of those to his property where there's a finger sticking down, that's services coming in.
oh, that's where the proposed service would go.
Yes.
Okay.
So we
Alright,
gotta clear-
and that's where it would dead end then.
Yeah, yep, Yeah, there'd be a curb stop right on his
Right.
line, or right on the property line.
Okay, so if he's gonna hook in, that's where it'd be?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've talked to Steve about that location?
He's
Or-
seen this map.
Okay, alright. That was my question. Okay.
Questions, Bill?
Well, I would think we should wait until Ben and Mike can be part of the conversation.
Okay,
Yeah, they might have some questions maybe.
all right, because we can do that within a reasonable
have-
time.
Yep,
you said.
it's not a problem.
We still have time?
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
just wanted you to see it when it's still hot off the presses.
yep,
yep, that's fine then. Let's do that long as we meet all of our timelines, you know, on this. So that will mean, the decision time will be our next meeting this month.
Yep, 2
Okay.
weeks from today.
Okay. All right,
and then May is when we start the new meeting schedule?
Yeah, and we'll
Okay.
talk about that too.
Alright, just double checking.
okay. All
Okay.
right. Well, yeah, I don't, yeah, that's fine, as long as we're keeping everything on schedule, because they should be here. And we don't know why they're not here, so.
Well, Michael did have a previous appointment.
Oh, okay, so you did know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just,
okay.
it slipped my mind because, the planning commission was the top of mind and he was at that meeting.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then, this is good. Thanks for the paper. I don't normally say that, but this does help see something a little bit better, so.
Yeah, thanks for the maps.
So this is good. All right, well then we'll plan on making sure that we're all here and we'll look at this with decision-making hats at the next meeting then. I'm glad all that stuff came in as soon as it did for everyone to look at. All right, so with that, we'll move on to administrator report.
Now we have to do the ordinance.
Oh,
meeting.
geez, sorry.
That's okay.
All right, yeah, let's go back to that ordinance. The one Craig just asked about.
Yep, so this will change your regular meeting days from the second and last to the first and third Wednesday of each month. It'll take effect upon passage and publication. In this case, we'll publish it. It won't be published before the third Wednesday of April. And so we'll schedule a special meeting for the 22nd. You've already scheduled that, which is the fourth Wednesday of April. There's 5 Wednesdays in April, and so this schedule will start in May. So the first meeting in May is, if I could just find my calendar. Somebody else has a handy calendar out.
May.
So that's the
May
6th?
6th.
May 6th.
Yes. And then May 20th will be the next meeting in May,
Because we're doing first and third.
first and third.
First
Thank
and
you.
third, okay.
So we've got invitations sent out. I'm not sure if I've got all of them sent out yet, but we will have the calendar invitations sent out to everybody for the new schedule for those meetings.
Okay. All right, so this is the second reading of this ordinance 2026-03 to change the dates of the regular scheduled meetings of the council, and they will be on the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of each month going forward, starting in May. Would anyone like to make a motion for this?
I'll make a motion.
All right, second?
I will.
Okay. All in favor of ordinance 2026-03?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you, Mike.
Great, thank you.
Okay, now,
Right, so why did we change the schedule? Thank you for changing the schedule. Today is also the monthly meeting day for Southern Minnesota Municipal Power Association. Shane and I attended their monthly business meeting this morning. Most people were in Wells. We were here in the office, which is nice. It would have been a tough one to get from Wells back here in time in the wintertime in particular, it's dicey if there's any weather. So this frees us up to attend meetings when in person, when we're able to, without having to concern ourselves with getting in the way of council business. So it's a great change. Some items on the agenda today were a discussion about some potential rate changes for economic development purposes, and a lot of work on what they're calling the Steele Energy Station. That's Steele County, and it's a new gas turbine power plant that SEMPA is looking to develop, which is an important part of our transition away from the coal-fired Sherco plant that will be closing in 2030. And then also the annual audit was reviewed by the auditors, and we looked at that information. They run a good organization. They've got quality staff. They give a lot of detail when they're giving presentations. It's very helpful for us to be able to participate in that, and also to learn about what we can do better at our meetings. So I appreciate that. Coming up next week, everybody's aware, I'm sure Tracy's gonna hand something out for you later, but just so you are recalling, we've got 2 meetings in the evening in this very room. The first of which is an open house on Monday the 13th, where we will have some details about the work that we've been doing with Stantec on the harbor side of Boulder Park, the erosion control concepts that they've come up with. I won't go into the details of what those are or the history of that project, but just know that if you're curious, we'll have some information for you. We'd love to see you come to that meeting.
I got that. I got this.
And then Thursday, we have the Minnesota SHPO folks coming to do an open house with us about their archaeological project. It seems like it's been a while since we've heard about this in the community, but this is kind of an exciting step for me that they're holding this informational session. We're hoping that members of the community hear about it, and if they have anything interesting to come and share. This is really a session for the archaeologists, the folks that are working on this project, to learn more about the community, to help them understand where they should be looking, what they can hone in on where to spend their time and do their work. So if you've got something interesting to bring, there's going to be some experts here that would love to look at it with you and try to learn more about it. Maybe we could all learn something together. Be a lot of fun, even if it's a Thursday.
Yeah, both of these open houses are important. Of course, the Boulder Park project is just a beginning stepping stone when we start to look about the Coast Guard and the parking lot in that bigger project, but it helps us identify some issues, think of some possibilities, and of course we also include soil and water. I mean, as soon as this comes up, then we get people like soil and water identifying more issues and things we need to think about, and also we can get some initial reflections and reactions from the community by doing this, just because all these things are slow processes and we're learning as we go. And the SHPO piece is super exciting, as Mike just said, and we've already got, with Alyssa's help, we're really doing a great job of, getting out to everyone and all our media and the community at large. And I'm already getting emails back because people are super excited about this, either tell their stories, whatever, and this really, as Mike said, informs these part of what the archaeologists are going to use to inform when they come back this summer, where they're going to start really looking for information. They have some modeling they do too, computer modeling that they're putting together, and they were here last year, but it's a 2-hour piece, but the only reason it's 2 hours is to give the public time to come and present to them. They don't have, they said maybe half an hour, 40 minutes of time. The rest, they really want the community to come and talk to them. So we're working on all that. And,
Yeah. A couple more items. On Monday, I participated in a work group that was put together by the County Highway Department that's part of an effort called Safe Streets for All. It's a MnDOT effort related to, if you remember, the Towards Zero Deaths campaigns. It's an analysis of county roads and serious accidents that occurred and try to figure out if there are areas that need to be improved and what those improvements might look like. This is our first meeting of this group. Lots more to come on that. I appreciate the county asking us to be involved, and hopefully we can help with that effort. Last week, we met with myself, Lenny, and Matt from the city, and then 2 members of the highway department met with Joel St. John's construction leads to start talking about the logistics of their project. It's going to be a 2-year construction timeline. That's what they're talking about. So it's pretty complicated stuff and a lot of moving parts. This, again, was just a very preliminary meeting, so we don't have a lot of details that we can share with folks yet. But our hope is that by the time we're done with this conversation, there'll be a nice detailed construction schedule, that any impacts they're going to have on public spaces in the neighborhood, that they'll be ready to come and ask you for permission to do that. There will definitely be a need to impact, for sure, the sidewalks and parking lanes that are adjacent to their construction site, and potentially more than that for some periods of time. So stay tuned. We'll be working with them, trying to make sure that they get opportunity to do a good quality project and get all the access that they need, but also try to ensure that as much thought is put into minimizing impacts on the neighborhood as possible. And hopefully we'll get a chance to include the neighborhood in that conversation in the near future.
Be definitely to make sure that the business community is well into this and that the council is all along the time as this gets developed, because the comments and questions will come to the council first. People have concerns, they'll be checking with us right away.
Yeah.
And if we're not informed on status, we'll either misspeak or whatever, but the downtown business group needs to have full awareness as it moves along.
Yeah, so you've heard their intention is to break ground in June. I think that there are still some pieces they need to get in place before they know for sure that's gonna happen, but we'll work with them. That means that information about the schedule and the activities that are gonna occur should be coming pretty quickly.
Can you just give a little bullet point of the next, we've been through a few different developments now in the
Yeah.
last couple of years, but can you just give us a quick little bullet point of the steps that will need to be taken until they're ready, before groundbreaking can even start?
This one is in some ways quite a bit simpler than some of the other developments that you've been involved in, because they're not making any public improvements at the same time. So if, for instance, to close the sidewalk or the street, they'll need to come and get a permit from you to do that. So that's on the list of things they'll have to do. But just to get permission to move forward, they'll need to acquire a land use permit, which is an administrative step at this point. As long as their building meets their zoning requirements, then there's no more need for public meetings or coming to the council to talk about it. So I'll certainly keep you informed about that process. They haven't made their application for a land use permit yet.
Are there any questions that we need to address as far as things buried in the ground on that site that maybe the city may have to move or alter
Yes.
or change prior to
Yep,
them
so
doing
things-
any digging or anything like that?
Well, things that we know are in the way of the proposed building, for instance, we have electric services serving 2 other properties on the west side of the block
Yep.
that are crossing that private piece of property right now.
Okay.
That'll need to be relocated. We also have some transformers and other gear that we're using to serve those customers that's on the space where the building is proposed to be located. And there's a transformer on the other side in the parking area where that's going to be improved as well. So there's
with
actually
the-
quite a
with
bit
the
of
setback-
relocations.
With the setback requirements downtown, which are what, 2 feet?
No setback requirements.
Okay, so then, do we have places to put those things?
We
There's
do.
an alley of course, but
No, the alley won't serve to get to the buildings. I'd be happy to show, we don't have any drawings of this right now because,
no, I know,
as I
but I'm
said,
just
we don't have
saying, we
a,
need to be prepared for that because, for us to go ahead and do all that work prior to like June 1st,
and we don't have to do all that work prior to June 1st, although we'd be happy to try.
well, they're gonna have to start digging footings and that kind of stuff, so.
I don't know how much that will be in the way right away.
But before we do that, we wanna make sure we're not doing it unnecessarily. We wanna make sure that everything's gonna move ahead.
Exactly. So we've been having this conversation with them for, actually, I'd say a number of years now.
Yeah.
Certainly before the City Hall project started, for instance.
Yep.
And so we do have some pre-planning about where we intend to put all the equipment, how we're gonna serve all the existing businesses that are there. We're not gonna move anything without the final plans for the building, so that we can answer that question like you're saying and know exactly where things need to go. We're only gonna move it once. And then, we're also going to require some money from the developer to pay for those relocations. And so that, once we get a land use permit application, then we'll be able to finalize those plans, give them the relocation estimate, get a cost payment up front, and then we'll do our work, which is to get our stuff out of their way. The land use permit, we won't approve it until we know that all those utility issues are dealt with. We won't approve it until we have a plan from them about the public spaces that they intend to use that's been approved by the city council. But beyond that, there isn't really any other issues on the land use permit side. We've seen the idea of what the building's gonna look like and they know what the zoning requirements are, and so I'm anticipating that it'll take some review, but that everything in there will be approvable and we'll be able to move forward on that.
Yeah.
So next thing you're gonna see at the city council meeting is a application for use of the street and sidewalk. And not sure when that's gonna come in front of you.
Yeah, I guess I would be concerned about the street and concerned about how a 2-year project impacts neighboring businesses.
Yeah,
That's a pretty important question.
it is.
How it's gonna be, where you're gonna house certain materials and certain things.
Yeah, and they have, I mean, they have enough space, I think, because they have the parking lot here, that they don't need to encroach on public spaces
Okay.
for a laydown yard.
Right.
They do intend to build a crane, and so where that's gonna go is still of an issue. But like I said, we know for sure they'll be impacting the sidewalk and parking lanes. And really, that's exactly what we did here for this building too.
Yeah.
So if you remember what happened here, where we set up Jersey barriers at the parking lane and everything behind that was construction area, it'll be very similar.
Well, it was nice here because we had extra space behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
I'm
they
not sure
don't
how much
have.
extra space is
On that site is none,
on that site. There's
None.
none,
yeah,
but, yeah.
but they have this lot
It's a
adjacent to
discussion we're
ours.
gonna have to have.
So when we get a land use permit application, like I said, I'll share that with you. That won't be anything that needs to come to a city council meeting, but I'll be happy to share it so that you'll be able to see what they're applying for and be able to answer any questions that you might get from that.
Okay.
That's exciting, and boy, for in April, there's sure an awful lot of stuff going on right now, which is why we haven't been able to get back to animal advocates yet with the information that they're hoping to hear. That is something that I hope to do in the next couple of weeks, so I'm not sure what their next meeting scheduled is, but I'll plan on attending if possible, and give them everything that we've got. We have a few contractors that are out right now, that we've asked for prices on getting the foundations set for us so that we can get the buildings permanently set. And once that's done, then we'll be able to hand it off to the animal advocates for the interior improvements. That's it for me.
Wow. All right, thank you. Bill,
I have nothing.
holy smokes. Okay,
Safe routes canceled.
yeah, I saw that. So
And
that
I
took,
haven't heard anything from Arrowhead Animal Rescue like we're out of step
Yeah,
again.
so you guys will be in step.
But
when
yeah,
you
that,
have your-
that is their burning question, and that is what they wanna know.
So you guys will have that coming up. All right, Craig?
Yep, had a park board meeting yesterday, actually. As far as the golf report goes, we were hoping to get our hands on some used carts from a course that Paul knew about, but they ended up selling them all to their members. So we didn't get a chance to get the used ones, but we are moving ahead with purchasing, cause we did budget where we did with the, what am I trying to think? Not maintenance, but capital improvement. We do have money for, 3 new carts, which I think will be a nice addition to the course. I mean, everybody likes, you know, we need to circle in some new carts, cause we do have some old ones up there. And it'll be a plus investment in the golf course for usage. So that's what's happening with the golf carts. The other item on the list, we did talk about the Superior Cycling Association that was looking at placing the pump track in the rec park. They have withdrawn their request to do that, and they're gonna keep it in the area that they currently have been using. Knowing that, you know, it's gonna have to be taken down and stored. That was the, I guess, the result of that topic. We did talk about the Arrowhead AED that wanted to locate in Harbor Park. I think that it was communicated to us that, a private business location near the harbor or the beach would be suggested. Not necessarily having to be on a pedestal, but maybe applied to a building, which would make it an outside, availability at any time, instead of having them like we have around town now that are all inside, indoor, more accessible. That was a topic we talked about. The marina docks were looked at by our insurance company. Due to that big storm we had below the ice in the marina, we did have some destruction to some poles. They're gonna be pulled out to see how many are bent and which ones we need to replace. But, so we haven't got a final cost on that, but we do have a $20,000 deductible on our insurance. And we may obviously reach that simply because we have to get a big crane in here to pull those poles and then out, because nobody locally has a big enough crane to reach that far out. We did talk to a couple local guys, they can't do it. Let's see,
Is that kind of like when Portage had to bring that crane in for their new marina?
they probably did, I don't know.
They did, they brought it up on water, I'm assuming because they couldn't get it through the tunnels, and they literally brought it up here on the
Oh,
beach,
on a-
reloaded it and drove it.
Yeah, on a barge.
a-
On a
after
barge,
that,
yeah, this would be
Yeah.
a truck.
We'll do it from land, yeah.
Yeah, this would be a land crane. It's the same crane that puts the horse in the water, right? Is
I
what
don't know
was
if we
told.
know which crane it's gonna be yet.
Well, what I'm thinking is they gotta put that boat's not in the water now, is it?
No, it's sitting on the,
Maybe
on the
an
land.
opportunity to work with when that happens, unless we need it sooner, I don't know, but I just thought, who knows, if they're gonna use it for that. You know, might be an option to check out. What's the other item? The other item, Soundgarden in the Harbor Park. James Everest is his name. He's an artist who created Soundgarden in Harbor Park. He visited and shared his latest project, which is kind of really cool. It's a virtual format that there's speakers set up in the park, and you'll have a QR code you can scan, put your earbuds in, and there'll be a little narration or talk about a topic. That would be, might be a topic about, I don't know, what, you know, anything that has to do with the harbor, the park, and also music, things like that. So as you move around Harbor Park, you can download these things and listen to them, which is kind of a neat concept. That was on the item. The other permits we approved is the Harbor Boat Walk by the North House that they did last year. The Wooden Boat Festival, Summer Solstice. And we approved a permit for the Cook County Pride March in June 13th. And the other item was, and this is coming up, and Mike already mentioned it, was open house on April 13th to discuss new strategies for erosion control in our harbor. So that's something that, if you want to go to that meeting, that would be kind of a neat thing to, it's going to be right here.
Right here in this room.
And they're gonna have, different ways, maybe 3 different ways of how it could look and how it correlates with Boulder Park.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
that might be a good thing to come and look at, for the public also.
Yeah.
Very
For
much so
listening.
for the public.
April 13th at 5 p.m. for that.
Great.
That's everything I have.
Okay. Mike, yesterday, the day's getting away from me. It was that Monday. That we met, the ARDC is beginning their, I suppose, 3 to 5 year plan on their priorities, where they should be focusing on how they can help our Northeast region and our communities. So this was their planning session here for Cook County. They'll also be having a separate one for Grand Portage, but we were invited in to help them set priorities. And first they had stats and demographics and whatnot around our community. They wanted us to help identify some of the more pressing issues and things we would want to be focused on. And it was a very interesting conversation. I think we probably went a little amiss of what they had hoped for. We got a little bit more in the weeds, but that's all good too. We had a nice mix of people with, gave us a little bit different elements of interest to that. Housing, of course, rose to number 1, but it was identified that, you know, we are making steps. We have an HRA now. We've put in some apartments. We've got some other concepts coming, maybe some assisted living, whatever. So that was, well, maybe we haven't solved it, but we've got a plan. So then the other thing that came up when we talked about issues was economic diversity and the need to do that within our community. So we started to kind of talk a little bit about that as a focus that would be helpful for them around that. But it's really to help shape their 3 to 5 year plan of how they help our communities here in the Northeast region. So what did you think, Mike?
I thought they had a tiger by the tail in that room. That's what I thought. They invited a lot of people that had some ideas.
Yep, they did. So it was
And it
interesting.
worked out great.
Yeah, I think it went well. And then today, Mike and I were down at North House Folk School because they're examining their sustainability and what that means for them as an organization and how that integrates with our larger community. And that was also a very interesting conversation. And what I took away from that personally was that it's a shame that CCLEP went away. And it's been absorbed, of course, by higher ed, and it's not like it's not totally happening. But all the different things people talked about, I felt like we needed once again one central group that could kind of make all those parts move forward. And it was also, as it turns out, we talked about what efforts have different organizations like the county and whatever done in this, and it was nice to be able to say that the efforts, like, we have a plan. We have Shane in place to do a lot of that. You know, this erosion piece we're talking about, our Boulder Park open house next week is clearly that. Our work on East Bay, and other pieces we've done. Our urban tree plan, urban forest plan are all items and others we've done as well. So I don't know where that lands for North House, but that was my biggest takeaway, that there's still a lot of interest in things that we could do in our larger community. And I walked away thinking no one really knew who would take next steps and what would really be North House's role. There were a lot of good suggestions. You had some really good ones, Mike. And so I don't know, what were your thoughts?
Appreciate that North House wants to have that conversation with partners in the community. I hope that they feel like it was worthwhile and that they got some good information out of it. I'm interested to see where they go with it.
Yeah, don't really know. So yeah, that takes care of that. And you guys both, we covered our open houses, so we're good to go. And thank you, everyone. This has turned out to be, yeah, a busy meeting. Stuff to do, so. We got one more, April 22nd, right?
Yep, 2 weeks from today, right back in here.
Gavin, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
April 22nd, okay.
There's a meeting by that one, right? It's already, thank you.